Hello, my name is Veronica Stewart, and I'm one of the librarians here at UA-PTC. Ms. Johnson has asked me to record this instruction for you on how to use one of our databases for your upcoming research assignment. So we're going to go over some resources that are available through the library website. Um, Let me share my screen here. Get rid of that. Okay, so this is the UA-PTC Libraries website. It is at uaptc.edu/library if you wanted to bookmark it on your home computer. And here on this website, you'll find a lot of different resources. I just want to point out over here our hours and our phone numbers. There are two locations, both the North and South Library, and both are available to you to use. You can use whichever one's convenient for you. And we can send books back and forth, so you don't actually have to take things back and forth to the individual libraries if you don't want to. Our phone numbers are here. 812-2272 is North, 812-2878 is South. Our hours, right now, we plan for them to be 7:30 to 6, Monday through Thursday, and 7:30 to 3 on Friday. Now, as you know, with COVID and the rise of Omicron and so forth, those hours may change depending on our staffing levels. I just can't tell you what they may or may not be right now. But right now, those are our planned hours for the semester. So if you do come here to the library website, there are sources for your books, sources for your articles from databases and so forth. There is this really tempting search box here. And if this were speech class, I'd say use it because in speech, you're not as particular about the type of sources. Sometimes you don't have to have the scholarly sources for speech. But if you do use the search box, it searches all of our books and all of our 80 some odd databases, and it sort of mixes up the results so that it's hard to find scholarly articles of the sort that you really need for this project. So it's best to search in the individual databases. And the reason that we kind of push that, if I pull up this other chart, here we go. This is sort of my pitch for using the databases versus the internet. I'm not going to tell you that you can't find good information on the internet. However, a lot of times, especially with scholarly sources, um, uh, those articles are behind a paywall. And those paywalls will pop up and they'll say, yes, we'll let you read this article, but we're going to ask you for your credit card so we can charge you $19.95 or whatever. If you stick with our databases, not only are you guaranteed information that has been reviewed and is made sure that it's factual and true at the time of publication, it is also freely available to you as a Pulaski Tech student. And if scholarly articles, if that's a new concept for you, the flip side of this, and this is something I will send to Ms. Johnston to share with you, tells you the difference between scholarly versus trade versus magazine articles. And basically, scholarly articles are sort of held to a higher level of review. Articles that you may see in magazines or magazine websites, they may have been reviewed by an editor and written by a journalist. And that journalist may go out and talk to, say, a researcher of the latest cancer drug and write that article up in a way that a person who's not a medical professional can understand. But those researchers, those doctors and scientists and so forth, when they write articles, those are published in the scholarly journals because they're writing for those subject experts. They're writing for the other physicians and nurses and scientists who might who know medical issues and may actually have a real interest in applying that information to patient care. So that's a rough overview of the difference between magazine articles written for a general audience and scholarly articles written for subject specialists. I'm going to minimize this. So the best way to find those scholarly articles, as I said before, is in the databases. And to search an individual database, which is the best thing to do because you can limit to scholarly articles if you search an individual database, is to click on either the database button here or this database link here. They both take you to the same place, which is our list of databases. And that's what you're seeing on the screen now. Now, as I mentioned before, this is we have several databases. We have up to 84 here, and they are presented here alphabetically, but we can sort them by subject, which I recommend that you do so you're not kind of trying to hunt and peck for the medical databases, the nursing medical databases. And the way you can do that is to click in this all subjects box here, and you'll get the subject list. And notice that the first one is Allied Health and Human Services. That's you. So if I click on this, notice there's a number 11 in parentheses. That's because this is going to leave me with the 11 Allied Health databases. And the best one for what you're looking for, the type of sources that you need for this project, is almost this very last one here called ProQuest Nursing and Allied Health Source. So if you do the subject sort and you come to your list of 11 allied health databases, click on ProQuest or PQ PQ Nursing and Allied Health Source. Now you're not going to see it here when I click on it, but if you are accessing these databases from off campus, you will get a screen that pops up that has our library logo on it, and it will ask you to log in. And the login information that you give it is your portal username and password. And for that, it is just your username, not your entire email address. And the username part is the first two letters of your first name, your entire last name, and the last four numbers of your Pulaski Tech student ID. I'm not going to see it here because I'm on campus. I've recorded these from off campus and gotten the screen, and I think that helps, but I'm on campus today and I'm not seeing it. So ProQuest Nursing and Allied Health Database opens to this basic search box. So let's say we were interested in looking at information on urinary tract infections. So I'm going to start typing it in. Notice that ProQuest kind of tries to help me out in that it's suggesting some things. Be very careful before you hop on one of these because it may or may not be what you're looking for. I'm not even going to take one of them. So I've typed in my topic and I'm going to hit search. This magnifying glass button is my search button. It's going to do its thing. And I get way too many, as you can see, 51,000 results. That's way too many to deal with. So let me show you some tricks to reduce that number of results and to focus your results to your particular topic that you're looking for. Number one trick, this works in any database, any search engine, you can use this even in Google, is to put a multi-word topic in quotation marks. What quotation marks do is force the database to look for all these words together as a phrase, because right now it's looking for the individual words anywhere. So you've got three different words going on here. And if it finds the word urinary on page 1 and tract on page 10 and infection on page 5 of an article, it's in my results. My topic is urinary tract infection. I want it to look for all three of those words together as a phrase. The way to do that is to put it in quotation marks as you just saw me do. So I need to search again. I've got my topic in quotation marks. I'm going to hit search again. And 23,000 results. So obviously still too many to deal with, but we are going in the right direction. There's another thing you can do. If I hit modify search, I will come back to this screen, which is a screen I know we started on, but you can do an advanced search. See how the options here, basic search is what we started with. I'm going to hit advanced. What an advanced search does, as you can see, is give us more boxes to play with. This is a good thing because more boxes mean I can put in more search concepts. So I know I want Oops, spelling it wrong. Oh, still not happy. URIN. Spelling matters. Okay, I've got my urinary tract infection and quotation marks in that first box. And see this word and? What and does is it tells the database to look for whatever's in the first box and whatever's in the second box. So let's say I was focused on the etiology of urinary tract infections. So I'm going to type that in here. And once again, it's kind of trying to help me out. Now, I can put etiology in quotation marks or I cannot. It is a single word term. Quotation marks aren't going to do anything magical with just single word terms. So if you put etiology in quotes, that's fine. It's not going to make a difference. Now, if I put something else in here that was a multiple word term, like risk factors or something like that, then I would put that in quotation marks. But here, I'm just going to leave it alone because it is a single word term. So notice my other options here below the boxes. Full text is checked. That is a good thing because what full text does is it tells the database that you only want to see the citations that have a complete copy of the article immediately available to you. That way you're not going to get the citations that don't have the full text immediately available to you. I mentioned scholarly articles before. Another term for that is peer reviewed. So for this project, you know that you need scholarly or peer reviewed articles. That's not checked yet. So I'm going to check it. And then that way I'm not going to see non-scholarly articles. I'm not going to see articles that are from more popular sources. I'm only going to see those peer reviewed articles. And finally, in medicine, age of an article matters because as we know, as we've seen with COVID, things change very fast. Scientific breakthroughs come up, treatments get changed, testing methods are changed. So you don't want to use anything that is too old because you might be reading about a treatment or testing method or something that is no longer used. In fact, it may have been proven to be dangerous. So for this project, I'm going to limit my articles to those published in the last 3 years. You see, we can actually go all the way down to 7 days, which might be useful if we were looking at something that's changing very fast like COVID. But let's start with last 3 years. I'm going to choose that. So here on this page, we did urinary tract infection in quotation marks, and we paired it with etiology so that we're only looking at articles that discuss the etiology of urinary tract infection. We've limited to full text, so we know we're going to get complete copies of the articles. Peer reviewed, so we're only going to get those scholarly peer reviewed articles, and published in the last 3 years. I know that was a lot of work to do, but you saw how many we started with to start with, 50,000. Doing all this work, we're going to get a focus list that will be a lot smaller. I'm going to click the search button now. And so you see we're down to 500 results. Not so bad. That's a list that we can work with. So if you're looking at these articles, they are given to us in order of relevance. You see here there's a sort by. We can choose to sort by oldest or most recent first, but I'm going to leave it on relevance because that's probably what you want to look at. If you haven't looked at articles in a database before, let me just walk you through some of the things that you'll see here. Notice the first thing in blue, that is the title of your article. And ProQuest, once again, tries to help you out. It highlights urinary tract infection, and notice it's all together. It's because we put it in quotes, so it's not taking it apart. Beneath that blue title is our list of authors. And sometimes with this list of authors, they will get kind of long because lots of people make contributions to these articles and to this research. After that, in bold is the title. And you'll notice, like with this one, BMC Pregnancy and Childbirth, London. The second one, Pakistani Journal of Medical Sciences Quarterly, Karachi. The place name is not part of the journal title. They're just adding that to differentiate it from another journal that may go by that same name but be published from another place. So when you do cite these articles, which you will have to do, don't include the place name because it's just there to differentiate it. Now, occasionally you will see something like British Journal of Medicine. In that case, British is part of the title. But for these, where you see a place name at the end, here's Atlanta, here's San Francisco, here's Mumbai, that is not part of the title. I just want to give you that heads up because we get asked that question all the time. After the title and the place name, you've got a volume number, issue number, date published, all that little information that you'll need for your APA citation, and we'll go over that in a bit. And finally, underneath that, you will have a link to the full text. Sometimes it will just be one link like this one, PDF full text here. Sometimes there will be two. This one right here has two links to full text, a plain full text view and a full text PDF. I'm going to show you both. There's no difference in the information, but sometimes it is presented very differently. It'll look very different on your screen, so that's why I'm going to show you both. You can use either one. I'm going to click on the plain full text for this article first. And here's the article. Once again, my title and my authors and my article information is at top. Your article will start with an abstract. That's what this is right here. An abstract is just a summary of the article. Your article does not start until you come down here where it says full text, and then the complete text of your article is here. If you just have an abstract, you don't have the full text, then you don't have the full text of the article. An abstract can help you out in that you can read just that and see if it's worth your trouble to read the full text, but an abstract is never the complete text of the article. Now, this article also had a PDF view, full text PDF. I'm going to click on that to show you how it looks a little different. The PDF of an article is going to pop up in its own little window here. And this is a copy of the article as it appeared in the original print publication. So you can see it's formatted a little differently. There's some charting that might look a little different. You'll also have the individual page numbers in this view. A lot of times people prefer this view just because it does look more like the print copy of the journal. It's kind of up to you which one you choose to use. Sometimes you won't get a choice, as you saw with one that was only the PDF view. Some will only have the full text HTML view that you just saw at first. It's really kind of up to you which one you use, unless your instructor tells you it does have a preference, which I know some instructors do. If I decided I wanted a copy of this article, my options to get a copy are up here on the right side. There's a print and a download and an email. An email is a really nice feature because what you can do is email the full text of the article to yourself. It doesn't have to be a UA-PTC address. It could be your Gmail or whatever you happen to use. And it does ask for your name. I don't know why. You can use the subject line here too to help you sort out things. So if you're doing research for different classes, you could put your class info in here, or I can just put in the subject that I'm looking for, and it will email the entire article to your email inbox. So you can use your email inbox to help you sort your articles, or you can just use it as a holding place for, if you did some quickie searching between classes, but you didn't have time to read things, email yourself articles, and then that way you can read them when you have time. So that's all I've had to put in. I can hit continue. This is just verifying my email address, and I'm done. Now there is this cite button here. I'm going to click on that. There we go. Cite button will give you citations. Notice that the default is MLA 7th edition. I believe in this class you're using APA. If you want to see the APA, you do have to click this little arrow here. And notice there's lots of different citation formats. So do be careful which one you choose. There's even several different APAs. We are up to APA 7th edition. And I believe you would use this one here, Basic, APA 7th Basic. There it is. Now you can copy this, but I do urge you to double check this against the format that you're going to go over in your class and make sure it is correct before you paste that into your references page and think you're done. Do double check these because sometimes these automatically generated citations aren't quite correct. They're a good place to start. I will give them that credit. They're a good place to start, but do go through them with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that they are completely correct according to the format you're going to learn in your class. To get rid of the spots, you can hit the X or hit done and it goes away. So if I want to go back to my results, I can just hit back to my results and it brings me right back to my results. So now just to go over that again, to show you what we did here, I'm going to take all this out. There we go. We started with that basic search and had way too much. So you can leapfrog to advanced search right here. And say I'm going to keep my urinary tract infection. Since it's a multiple word term, see how it's in quotes, that will help me out. And I mentioned before we just use etiology, that was a one word term. We didn't have to put that one in quotes because quotes don't make a difference if you just got one word. But say we want to do risk factors. Now that is a multiple word term. So once again, I'm going to put it in quotation marks so that the database doesn't look for the individual words, so that it treats this all as a phrase and looks for the words risk factors together. Once again, remember, I do want full text checked because I want to see complete copies of the article. I do want peer reviewed checked because I need scholarly peer reviewed articles. And I'm going to leave it on last 3 years because I don't want any articles that are too old. And I'm going to hit search. And this time we do have a few more articles. So if I wanted to, I could go back and put in another search term if I wanted to. But these will be articles that discuss urinary tract infection and risk factors. So there may be a little overlap with our first search, but generally speaking, these are going to be a much different mix of articles. And you can see how the articles look the same. The presentation is the same. I can click on full text, or if I want to, I can leapfrog to the PDF view. And there's my PDF view. If you're curious about how long an article is, you can always see it right here, pages 1 through 12 on this one. And once again, my options to get a copy: print, email, and cite. So that is how to search ProQuest Nursing and Allied Health Database. And just to review how we got here, Library's Home, there we go. We started on the Ottenheimer Library homepage. We clicked on the databases link. It brought us to this A to Z list of our databases, and we sorted by Allied Health and Human Services. And this was the ProQuest Nursing and Allied Health source. The reason I picked this is because it is the most scholarly database we have in nursing and allied health. So it's a really good place to be for scholarly articles. Now, I did mention you have to cite things. I know there's a citation generator in the database itself, but to help you check them, or if you have a source that isn't cited, we do have help for that. If you come to the library homepage and scroll down under the research help heading, we have a heading called Citing Sources. I'm going to click on that. And as I mentioned before, I believe in this class you're going to be using APA. So scroll past all the MLA to APA. And if you click on this first link here, it says APA LibGuide. The APA LibGuide can be very useful to you. There's a couple of different things I'll show you I'll show you how to our APA template and our APA citing cheat sheet. So our APA template is under formatting your paper. If I click on the formatting your paper tab, there's some videos over here, but there's also this downloadable APA template to get you started with your APA formatted paper. See, it opens in Word, and it has some placeholder text here in brackets. So see here where it says title here, I would erase that and type in my title. Here where it says author's name, I would erase that and type in my name. Anything that's in brackets, you replace with your personal information for your paper. There's also a start for the references page. So you can download this template and keep it on your flash drive, keep it on your computer, and just go back to it time and time again as you do papers for this class and for your other courses in allied health. Going to minimize that. And also show you our cheat sheet. There is an option here, an example here of how to do your in-text citations. And if you're not familiar with that, in-text citations are the citations you put within the body of your paper that refer you back to the references at the end of your paper. So notice here some examples where they put the author's name, the year of publication, the page number, and here they put it all in one parenthesis. So like I said, there's some different ways you can do this, but just make sure you do that for everything that you use from another source, everything that is not common knowledge. And finally, if I go to our references tab, specifically the journals and magazines option here, there's some examples here of how to cite articles from journals. We also have this citing cheat sheet right here, citing library databases and ebooks. And there's examples of how to cite an article with a database article that has a DOI and a database article without a DOI. And if you haven't heard of DOI, get rid of that. There we go. A DOI looks kind of like this. Here's an example of one. There you go. A DOI is a unique identification number for an article. Many articles have them, some articles do not. And in the case of the ones that do not, then you give credit to the database. Let me go back here. Let me just do this search again. I'm going to grab an article. I'm going to grab a citation. And okay, actually this one has a DOI on it. You see right here, that's your DOI. So if there is one available for an article, it does come as part of this automatically generated citation. If there's not one, you don't make it up. You just give credit to the database as they did here. This is a one-page cheat sheet. You can download it. If you're on campus or have your own printout, you can print it out. It can be very, very helpful for you. I'm trying to stop sharing. Okay, there we go. So that is my presentation on how to search in the ProQuest Nursing and Allied Health database and how to find ways to cite your sources correctly. If you have any questions, our phone numbers and our emails and so forth were on the website. I'm also going to send a brochure and the handout that I displayed to you to your instructor, to Ms. Johnson, so that she can share that with you through your email. But if you have any questions, our phone numbers here are 812-2272 for the North Campus, 812-2878 at the South Campus, or you can reach us at librarystaff@uaptc.edu. Good luck with your research. Bye.